Hello, everybody. Welcome to my show, Legacy of Love. It's a show about what it takes to survive as a teacher in the public school system. My name is Roland Innocent. I have a BFA in a performing arts and a master in education. I've been teaching for 27 years. Listen, in today's show, we're going to focus on classroom management. But before we start, listen, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Agoci1, Agoci1. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and share the show. Well, last week we talked about classroom management, the different techniques that you're going to have, the do's and the don'ts. I also shared with you some of the experiences that I have when it's come to classroom management, teaching in the public school system. I shared with you that classroom management is a full-time commitment. You must be consistent. We went over the rules, we went over the different techniques that we gonna have that you must have as a school teacher in the public school. We talked about the class rules. Now we said last week that the class rules are extremely important, and I shared with you my rules. For example, I said I treat everyone with respect. I raise my hand. I dance in my dance spot. I change behind the blinds. I respect everyone's feeling. I hand in my homework on time. I wear my dance clothes. I am responsible for my own belonging. I keep my hand to myself. I use proper language. These are some of the rules that I use in my dance class. Also, I talked to you about rewards and consequences. For example, I told you that I use happy faces, praise. I praise the kids, the children when they do well, and give them gifts, class trips, good grades, and things like that. I also talked about the consequences. I told you that I use sad face. Also, give them extra work to do when they do things that um, mm, not to not up to our standard. I call parents. I give bad grades. I bring parents to the school to have a meeting, and of course the last one, which is class suspension, which I rarely use. Now today we're going to talk about consistency. So simple. If you're going to tell a child, well, okay, listen, if you continue to misbehave in my class, you're going to get extra homework, right? So you must do it. Do not tell any student something that you know you're not going to do. And one thing also in the public school, in the school system, as a teacher, when you punish a student, it's actually you. It's like you're punishing yourself also. For example, there's a child. Let's take an example of Johnny. Johnny comes to my class and refuses to participate, continually disturbing the other students from, you know, concentrating in my class. So I speak to Johnny once, give him first warning, second warning, third warning. I give Johnny a sad face. Now Johnny said, "I don't care about your sad faces. Continue." Well, now I go to Johnny and I tell Johnny, okay, while you are waiting, since you don't want to participate, can you please, this is a book, can you read the story and write me uh, um, a report about the book? Johnny constantly said, I am not doing it. I said, I'm going to call your parents if you continue to disrupt my class. And he refused to do it. He said, I don't care. All right. So now, step two, you tell Johnny, okay, you know what? Then you don't want to call your parents, you don't want to participate, and you disrupt in my class. So now you said to Johnny, I'm going to have to, you have to stay with me for recess so you can do your work since you don't want to do it now. Well, when Johnny stays, now it's recess. You cannot simply forget about Johnny. You have to make sure you go get Johnny so that Johnny can do the work. So now it's your lunchtime. You basically don't have lunch now. So during your lunch now or your prep period, you have to sit with Johnny to make sure Johnny get that work done. So that's what I mean by when you punish a child, you're actually punishing yourself too. So the choice is yours. it's a commitment. You want Johnny, you want to make a difference in Johnny's life, then you have to understand that you have to put in the time. Okay? And you also have to follow up. What do I mean by follow up? You give somebody, a child disrupt your class and do something, to stop others from learning. And you say to that child, okay, you have extra homework. You have to write a page about Alvin Ailey, the accomplishment that Alvin Ailey did in the dance world. So, and the child said, okay, uh, tomorrow you forget all about it. No, that's not how it goes. Tomorrow you have to go ask the child wherever. I mean, I'm a cluster teacher. I don't. I may see a class like that once a week. So if I have to write down that, and from in 7SL I gave Baltazar one, an extra homework, then I have to go the next day. I have to go to back Baltazar and ask for my work. The child knows that you're consistent, and the child know that you care about when you say something, you mean it. So that's what I mean by the full commitment, follow up. When you say something, you mean it. All right. Now, another technique, part of classroom management is you must develop a relationship with the parents. So I hardly call parents, but if you have to, you have to. So, like I said to you before, we go over the rules. Give the sad face. After 3 sad face, I will give the extra homework. And then if the child continue to misbehave, now I may have to call the parents, and this time talk about what is the child is doing in the classroom, how the parents can get involved and support what's going on in the classroom. Now, if you're going to call parents, you must also understand that when as a parent, I am a parent. I have a beautiful daughter. She's now 20 in college. So when you call somebody's home, a child's home, this parent, when they send the best to to your school or to your class. So you must understand, when you call the parents, you cannot start with the negative. All right. I'm calling Jose's parents. Um, Good evening, sir. This is Mr. Innocent from so and so school. It's a pleasure to talk to you. I have the opportunity to teach Jose performing arts in my dance class. He does very well. He's one of my best dancers. He's very talented. He's very helpful in my classroom. He helps the children with the other students who struggle with so and so. And Jose is a leader and contributes a lot in my classroom. Now I will go with the growth. If only Jose will understand that with proper self-control, that he will develop his full talent, his full potential. So I would like your support. I would like your help. If you can talk to Jose so that he understands that he cannot continually disrupt the other students from learning. As a leader, he must understand that he cannot disturb the class by doing so and so. All right. So as you can see, I start with the glow. I tell the parents the good thing that their students doing, daughter or son doing, and then now I tell them what they have to do to improve. Now, if you try that, then you will see that the parents will be very supportive. They will step up and try and want to help you. They will tell you, okay, well, no problem. Thank you, Mr. Innocent, for calling. I will talk to Jose. All right. Also, you must also understand that when you call someone's parent or a student's parent, it's a risk that you're gonna take, because some parents might give that student a whooping. So the student might come the next day and really, treat you bad, or give you a hard time in your class. So I always save the calling parents as a last resort. Okay. Now, in classroom management, you must also understand that whatever it is that you're going to teach, the students, they have to be interested in it. You're not going to teach something that's interesting for you. You have to do a little research. Your content has to be something that they heard about, especially when you start your lesson. For example, I'm a dance teacher. So where I teach in my school, PS 189, I teach dance. Now, that's not all that I do outside. Outside, I'm a musician. Outside, I'm everything. But at 189, I'm a dance teacher and I'm hired to teach dance at 189. So when I go in to teach, I have to also understand that most of my students, like let's say I have a class of 30. So if I'm teaching 7SL and the class has 30 students, 50% of the students are male and the other 50 female. So a lot of my students, when I go in to teach them 7SL, most of them are Hispanic, Latinos. So I do a little research to know their culture. They are a lot of them, a lot of the boys may not want to dance. So when I start with them in September, I will not start with ballet because to them ballet is very feminine. All right. Oh, they will say, I said, oh, ballet, I don't want to do ballet. And their parents may not even want them to do ballet. So what do? I start with hip hop. Right. So you want to make sure that you give them something that they are interested in. You have less of a chance of child behaving bad if they're doing something they like, something they're interested in. So I start with hip hop, right? We go in, we put some hip hop music, and I use instrumental. I don't use any words, and So it's instrumental. They're using the sounds. Most of the time, they know the words, but it's important for me that the music is clean and I give a positive message. So we started with hip hop. They learn the movement. They're very interesting. They are taken by it. Everybody's participating. And first few classes, like you have 1 month of hip hop. And then after that full month, everyone is interested. Everybody like my class. Everybody's talking about it. They're getting their happy face. They're going home talking to their parents about it. And then now, after the first few months, September, October, and November, now I start to slide in the technique. All right, I start to bring in. I still don't call it ballet. I still don't call it modern, but I slide in technique. And then now, okay, guys, we're gonna learn the different positions. We're gonna learn the plie series. That we use in dance. It's very important that you learn it because it builds your muscles. Whatever dance you're gonna do, whether it's hip hop, African, you're gonna need this technique called the plie series. I play some hip hop music and I teach them the plie series. So it's almost like a trick. So while they are learning the technique, they don't even know what they're learning, but they're still having fun. They still think it's hip hop, but at the same time, they're learning technique. And eventually, through as the semester is going to, we're going toward the middle of the semester, then I start to talk to them about the different styles of this. And then I start to tell them, okay, well, and the plie series, as you can see, this is a plie series of modern. This is a plie series of ballet, because now they actually know what it's about. They're already enjoying it. They actually enjoying my class, and they are participating in the full aspect of my class. So that's what I mean by your content has to be interesting. For example, I was sent last time to a class. I'm not going to call names because everybody here knows that I teach at PS 189. I was sent to a class, and the class, when I went inside that class, they were all over the place. The children were all over the place as if there's no rules whatsoever. They like all over the place. They're walking over, they don't want to sit down. So when I got there, I just stand up and I'm standing, and I'm looking. As a teacher, you have to develop something called a look of a teacher. The children have to know when you're serious, when you're joking. So when I got to that class, I was extremely disturbed because I know the work that the administration and most of the teachers put in that school. And like I said, I've been there for 27 years and I know the work that I've done with the children. So most of the kids in the class, I knew them when they were in the 5th grade. And that class was 7th grade class. So now they're in the 7th grade and they're acting like they forget all these rules. So I'm standing there and I'm looking at them. And I said, 1, 2, 3, my time. Once I say my time, I explain to them what does that mean. This is my first time. I mean, I first time teaching that class. They sent me there to cover because I believe the teacher was absent for some kind of reason. I went 1, 2, 3, my time. Once I say my time, I explain to the kids, children, any of you still standing up after I say my time? We may have to talk. And I have to give you a sad face. And they're looking at me, some of them. I said, yes. And a sad face means that you have to do extra writing for me. While we are dancing, you're going to be sitting and writing. So right away, 3 students they were standing up, they sit down because they don't want to write. While they could be dancing. Listen, like I explained to them also, writing is my favorite subject. I write all the time. But right now, I'm here not to teach you writing. I'm here to dance with you, to enjoy and have a great time with you. But if you want to spend your time reading and writing, beautiful. You may have to sit and do that. Right? Once I say 1, 2, 3, my time, they know. I explain to them what that means. I explain to them this is a new standard right now. So we have half of the kids who understand, okay, well, this guy is serious and he's taking what he's doing seriously. Now, I start to introduce once I got their attention now, and they know if they mess up, they're going to suffer certain consequences. Then, therefore, now they're waiting for me to introduce my lesson. Now, I pick something, since this is the first time in that class, and I look at that class and I look, a lot of them are children, Muslim children. A lot of them are, some of them are Haitian, some of them are Hispanic. So the class is varied in ethnicity. So I introduced something that's like extremely interesting. And I wrote on the board for do now, write 3 things that is extremely important to you, that you cannot do without, that the most important things in your life. Now, I said, okay, you have 3 minutes, and I'm going to walk around in exactly 2 minutes. So I give them a time frame, and that time frame is extremely important to students. They know that in 2 minutes, you're looking at the clock, you're counting for them that you're going to walk around. And I did exactly what I said. As 2 minutes, I started walking around, and I checked students. I put a happy face to those of them who have it, and those people who I said, okay, guys, those of you who don't have it, in 2 minutes, I'm also gonna give a sad face. So they don't want to receive a sad face. So therefore, they complete their work. Now I go around and I put a check on them, put a happy face, put a check, and we go over it. Now, most of the students, they told me the most important things to them is family. Every single one of them had family there. Now, to my surprise, there was one student who said to me, religion was the most important thing to them. And then I told them, I said, okay, in nature, things happen. Like in Haiti, we had the earthquake that many people died. So let's say something happened. Can you please cross out 2 of those things that were the most important thing to you? Now you left with 1. And I said, okay, and you have exactly 1 minute to make your decisions on which one you're going to cross. Now, like I told you, this was a class that had a behavior problem. I will say every teacher who go in my class, they were complaining of their behavior, that they were out of control. My subject was interesting, and I introduced my rules. I told them what's expected. I told them what's going to happen if I don't get what I want, if they don't meet my standards. So now I had one Muslim child. We were sharing, what was left. One person said, Mr. Innocent, everybody, they left family. Some people said they cannot live without their family. Some people say they cannot live without school. And then I had one person who took away family and they only have one religion. They only had religion. So when the child shared with me, and the child said, Mr. Innocent, Because the other kids, they were laughing. They were like, why did you take away family and you leave religion? Why? And it was a Muslim student. And the student said, Mr. Innocent, guys, all I have right now is my family. All I have right now, sorry, is my religion. She said that her family died in the war, and mother and father gone, right? And all she has is her religion. Now, listen, as a teacher, I was touched. The other students also, they didn't know what to say. But this is all to tell you what you can accomplish if you can manage your class. You can really make a difference in somebody's life. A teacher, you have a big responsibility in your hand. And unfortunately, you cannot give up on these kids. So, like I said, you use your techniques, make sure what you're going to teach those kids is interesting. They can learn from it, they can benefit from it. Okay, once you have the students' attention, then of course, then you continue with your lesson. But you must, especially the first few months of class, establish your classroom, the discipline, the way what's expected. Make sure it's clear, the expectation, so that these kids can perform for you. Otherwise, you're going to have administration coming. The kids are not going to score very well in the state test coming. They're going to do terrible. And you're going to end up being miserable at the end of the year, because if you did the work the first few months of class, then you'll have nothing to worry about. Your children will perform for you and you'll be happy. But if you don't do the work, you have kids walking all over the place. When you're teaching, they don't care. They're out of control. You can't control them. You'll have to call their parents all the time. Now parents are upset with you because you're calling them all the time. You can't do your job. And then now you have to bring the administration in your classroom, which I told you is a no, because once the administration come in, it simply means that, okay, you can't control your class. And the administration now is going to do your job for you. You don't want, as a teacher, you don't want people doing your job. Do your job. Okay, that's your job. You're a professional. You went to school for this. So it's extremely important that you learn these techniques to manage your class. Now, there's certain things also that I develop in my class that the kids, they have to know they're looking forward to something. As a human being, when you're on this planet, you're living on this planet, if you're looking forward to something that's going to happen, the days go faster. So in my class, I develop small performances. We have the big performances where the dance program, the after school program, those children who've been dancing for 2-3 years, and they perform and make the school look good. And then we have the in-house performances where, like right now, we are working on choreography. The students, they create their own choreography, and I invite 1 or 2 classes to come in and watch their finished product. Okay, it's like a work in progress. And by the time we get to June, now they already have their own choreography that they created. So you have students now coming to school knowing that, okay, at the end of this month, they're going to have a performance that so they can showcase the piece that they create. So they look forward to that. We all want to have something that we're looking forward to. So you create small little event and small little things for your children to look forward to, so that they, and you stay in contact with them. If they know their parents coming in to see them, to see their little piece that they created, you won't have a behavior problem no more. People will be so busy creating and producing for you. Now, the last thing is to develop a culture of trust and respect in your classroom. Well, it's easier said than done, but I'm gonna share something with you. And in my classroom, everyone have a job, from the class president to the secretary to the treasurer and to the closet monitor, someone who monitor the closet, make sure the shoes are there safe, to the discipline person in my class, to the warm-up monitor, Everyone have a job. So if everybody knows their responsibility and they know what they're doing, what's expected of them, then you have less of a problem. And also, as a leader, you must let these children understand that you are a leader, but they are also leaders. They are future leaders, and right now they have responsibility. So as my students come in, they come in my classroom, they sit in doing their do now. I walk and check their do now. There's somebody who's calling the cues for the dancers to go change. The girls are changing, the boys are doing the do now, and then it changes. And now someone is doing the warm up. The warm up's happening, and still checking on do now. And now, boom, I go in and I clap in 1, 2, 3. Once you clap 1, 2, 3, everybody clap back 1, 2, 3 after you. And then now they know that I'm coming in to teach my mini lesson. So if I'm coming in to teach the Igbo dance, boom, I teach like a good 6 movement in the Igbo dance, and I take notes of the people who are doing the movement well, the people who are struggling well. And then boom, I divide the class into groups, and I choose leaders. I choose, let's say, I divide the class into 4 groups, and I choose 4 people who does the dance, who do the dance very well, and then are leaders, and they lead the others, helping and coaching, and at the end of the class we have the assessment, and children perform, and we give feedbacks, and you develop a culture of learning and respect in your classroom. Everyone is participating, everyone takes part, everyone is part of the learning. Then you will have less of a chance of discipline problem in your classroom. Okay, next time I see you, we'll talk about lesson plans. Okay, how you prepare a good lesson plan. And if you have any question, once again, you can write them, email me, shoot me an email at Rollans Innocent, ROLHANS Innocent, INNOCNT @gmail.com. All right, or you can email me also at Aitila, AYITILA @AOL.com. I also have a website, www.agoci.net. And like I said, please subscribe to my channel, and stay in touch with me. Share the video so that we can create a beautiful family of learning. And write your questions, write your comments under the post, so that I know what is it you're thinking and what is it you want. If there's anything you would like from me, anything you would want me to talk about, also write your question, write your comments, so that I can get back to you. Thanks for watching my show, and I look forward to see you next week for another episode. And keep on with your legacy of love. Teaching is a legacy of love.